What's going on, guys? Stefan with you, S&E's Garage. My video on flat rate has recently blown up, and I'm very thankful for that. In the comment section, I'm seeing a lot of stuff from younger people, just getting into the trade, or maybe just getting out of trade school. And I kind of wanted to make this video for you guys. I kind of want to go over what kind of tools you should be buying, what you should have, and what you really don't need as an entry-level technician in a dealership, because I've almost always worked at a dealership. The nice thing about being at a dealership is that they provide most, or if not all, of the special service tools that you're going to need. So you're really only going to need basic stuff as an entry-level technician. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to crack right into my toolbox, we're going to flip you around, I'm going to show you exactly what I bought to start, and how I've kind of grown my collection over the years. So let's get right into it. Alright guys, so before we even crack this toolbox open, I want to talk about flashlights. As an entry-level technician, or any level technician really, you're going to need light. When you're in these dealerships, a lot of the shops aren't very well lit, and even if they are very well lit, if say they have a nice lighting system, when the car is up in the air, you're in the shade. So you're going to want a real nice flashlight. This right here is a stream light. You'll see it is very bright, and you can dim it, which is pretty cool. You can change the brightness. This is great for looking behind wheels, checking brake pad life, things like that. Anytime I was multi-pointing a car, as soon as I got it up in the air, this was the first thing I did, was I grabbed this light. I checked behind my wheels. I looked at my brake pads. I checked for any debris or road hazard in the tires. So that's definitely a must-have. Another great light to have is something like this. This is made by Gear Wrench, but what's great about this guy is it's magnetic. So I can literally stick it somewhere and it just stays there, and it's also on a hinge. Now when you turn this on, it is extremely bright and it lights up the whole area that you're working on. So what I used to do, if I had a hood open and say I was working underneath the hood, I would stick it under the hood and it would basically light up the whole engine compartment. So I'm going to pop this hood. I'm going to show you exactly how this works. So the hood of this car is actually aluminum. I just learned something today. So it won't stick to the hood. But I have it right there on the radiator support. And you can just kind of see, if I were to shut the lights off, it does a nice job at lighting up that engine compartment. So good lighting as a mechanic, technician at any level is great to have. I definitely recommend you get yourself a real nice flashlight, and then something like this that's going to, make working a little easier on the eyes for you. Alright guys, so here we are in the top drawer of my toolbox, and you'll see that I have various different sockets, ratchets, wrenches, some ratcheting, some not, some stubbies, and we have various different length ratchets. These have all been acquired over time, so don't look at this and say, wow, I have to spend a lot of money. That's not the case. As a starting mechanic, you're definitely going to want a 3/8 ratchet, you're going to want a 1/4 inch ratchet, and you're going to want some sort of a 1/2 inch ratchet. So I definitely recommend you get ratchets in those three sizes, and then the socket sets to follow. So we have our 3/8 here, we have our 1/4 inch here, and then we have our 1/2 inch stuff in impact. And I also have 1/2 inch chrome sockets. If you want to save yourself some money, you can definitely skip the chrome and just get impact, because you can use them for either or. I do have deep, shallow, and semi-deep sockets and 3/8, and then the other ones I have shallow and deep. So that's what I would do. I would definitely get a nice, nice couple ratchets and the sockets to go with them. If you want, you can get wobble sockets. I have them. These are great for trying to get into tight spaces. And these aren't really as much, entry level. As an entry level, you're not going to be doing any crazy stuff. You're going to be more or less a lube tech, and you're just going to be doing oil changes, rotates, things like that. So your 1/2 inch impact sockets are going to be very important as well. You're also going to want a decent set of wrenches. These are all Gear Wrench wrenches. They go all the way from 8 mil. The sky's the limit. I have ones up to 30, 34 32 millimeter. You don't have to go too crazy. Depending on the manufacturer you're working for, if you're working on imports, you're going to want to go metric. If you're not working on imports, you're working on American cars, you're going to want to go standard. But I do have sets of metric wrenches in both, regular box end, open end, and I also have ratcheting. The ratcheting wrenches come in very handy. Like I said, you don't have to spend a whole ton of money on these. These are just gear wrench wrenches. I do have snap-on wrenches also, but I don't really use them that much, if I'm honest. I forget where they are in this toolbox. So like I said, you don't have to spend a ton of money. You don't have to get snap-on everything. The gear wrench stuff is just as good. It'll save you some money. Like I said, there's some snap-on stuff in here. But don't go crazy. You're just getting into the business. You're not sure if you're going to like it or not yet. Just get the basic stuff and upgrade as you go. All right, so here we are in the second drawer. One of these things that I cannot stress enough is these guys right here. As an entry-level technician, you're probably going to be doing, silly recalls and stupid stuff inside of the car, door handles, things like that. These are interior trim panel tools that have saved my ass so many times. These things prevent scratches and they make taking interiors apart super easy with no complaints. You don't damage anything. They're great. These are made by ATD. That's the model number right there. Screenshot it if you'd like. I got these off of Tooltopia. Like I said, they're great. I love these. Now, sticking with the whole entry-level technician thing, depending on the manufacturer you work for, if they have a cartridge filter, you're going to want to buy the adapter for their filters. This is a Toyota adapter. I've owned several Toyotas that need that adapter, so that's why I own it. This oil filter claw has more than paid for itself. I use this thing every day when I was in the dealership. This is definitely something great to have. It makes taking off, regular metal spin-on filters a breeze. And for those stubborn filters that are in a different, location, these are oil filter pliers. Again, these have more than paid for themselves. These are great. I definitely recommend these. Now, you're also going to want a dead blow hammer. This is a snap-on dead blow. It's great for taking off wheels. You take your lug nuts off, the wheel's stuck on the hub. You get behind the wheel, you give them a crack with this, they come right off. They're great. You're also going to want a hammer for brake jobs. That's primarily what I've used this for, to knock rotors off. So get yourself a couple of good hammers. You're going to want a good dead blow, and then you're going to want a good, I don't know if I'd call this a ball peen or not, but you're going to want a good metal hammer to make things that don't want to move. You're going to want a nice pry bar set. Again, doesn't have to be snap-on. These are great for checking suspension components, ball joints, things like that when you're doing your multi-point inspections. I've used these more times than I can count, as you can see. They are pretty worn out. And you're probably going to want a nice set of picks also. These are great for doing oil changes on cartridge filters when you have to get the rubber O-rings out of the cartridge. These work great for that. So yeah, let's get into the next drawer, see what else we got. Alright guys, so as I mentioned before, as an entry-level technician, you're going to be doing a lot of service work. You're going to be doing a lot of oil changes, tire rotations, things like that. And newer cars nowadays, most of them have some sort of a splash shield underneath that you're going to need to remove. So I definitely recommend you get yourself a nice electric 3/8 ratchet or impact gun. I happen to have both. My impact gun's there, my ratchets here. Both of them have more than paid for themselves. I've used them numerous times, and they save me both time and make me money. So they're definitely investments that are well worth having. You're also going to want some sort of a tire inflator. That one is from Matco. It's cool because it's backlit and it tells you exactly how much air you're putting in tires and stuff. Of course, right now the backlight doesn't want to work because the battery's going dead. I haven't used it in a while, but take my word for it, it's backlit, so it's really nice. You're also going to want a drill. I use this a lot for doing tire repairs when you have to ream the hole out before you plug it or patch it. So that's great to have also. And then I have this guy here. This is awesome for putting license plates on and off. You're going to be doing that a lot in the dealership, especially as an entry-level technician, doing PDIs and things like that, or putting license plates on customers' cars. And you're also going to want a nice 1/2-inch impact gun for taking, wheels on and off. I happen to have two of them. This is a Snap-on MG725. And then I have my Ingersoll Rand 2235 titanium. You can go with either one of these. They're both great. They're both expensive, so you don't need guns that are this expensive. I upgraded to the Ingersoll Rand because it's a lot lighter and it was easier on the hands. And this one was actually broken. I had to rebuild it. I rebuilt that myself. So now I have two of them. You're going to want a torque stick. Basically what this does is when you're tightening the wheels, it limits the amount of torque you put on the lug nuts so you don't break them. You don't want to break wheel studs, you don't want to piss anyone off, and you don't want to cause yourself more work. So they are also great to have. Now another set of sockets that I absolutely recommend, especially if you're at a highline dealer like Lexus, Mercedes, BMW, things like that, is these special plastic lug nut sockets. These make it all but impossible to scratch where the lug nuts go on your or your customer's wheels. I use these on my personal cars. I've used them on customers' cars, especially people with Genesis. Genesis customers are the worst. Don't get me started on them. But yeah, these are great to have. Like you can see, I've used them a lot. And then back to the electric drill, you're going to want to get adapters and different drill bits for it. Also, we can't forget our whiz wheel. I use this a lot for tire repairs. When you're doing a patch plug from the inside, you need to use this to scuff up the inside of the tire, basically, so the rubber patch cements itself to it. And then it's also great for cleaning up the bead set on an aluminum wheel. They get corroded a lot. And this is great for cleaning that up before you mount your new tires so you don't have any leaks. So as an entry-level technician, like I said, you're going to be doing a lot of things with tires, rotations, things like that. You're definitely going to need to get yourself a nice tread depth gauge. Basically what this does is it tells you exactly how much tread the customer has in their tires. So you'd stick it in the tire like this. And this tire just happens to have right around 8/32 of tread left. So these are great to have. I always have a couple of these because I always misplace them. I always lose them and then they end up popping back up. So definitely get one of them. And then you're also going to want a nice assortment of pliers. We have various needle nose in different lengths here. These just happen to be tie rod tires. These are great for doing alignments. I've used these things a lot. And then we have different channel locks, different vice grips, things like that. So you're definitely wanting, like I said, get some nice pliers, invest in them. They're great to have. You're going to use them a lot. You're also going to need some screwdrivers, different sizes and lengths of Phillips flathead, things like that. You're also going to need a set of brake fingers. These are awesome for inspecting brake pad wear. A lot of your multi-points will be green, yellow, and red at different millimeters of pad thickness. So these are great. They make it nice and easy. You just stick them right into the brake pad in between the rotor and the pad until you find the one that fits, and then you know exactly what the pads are at. No guesswork, and the next time the car comes in, when you check it again, you're not going to, the brake pads aren't going to be growing, because we did have some issues with that with some entry-level guys, just, marking them a certain color, and then they came in the next service, and their brake pads had more material on them as per the multi-point, which is completely wrong. So if you're going to be inspecting brakes, especially, those are super important. Now, as an entry-level technician, you're going to be doing a lot of tire rotations, like I've said at least 5 times. And that puts a lot of responsibility in your hands, because if you don't tighten the wheel correctly and it comes off, you are responsible, and you don't want that to happen. So invest in a nice torque wrench. This is a snap-on torque wrench. It goes all the way up to 250 foot-pounds. Most lug nuts are anywhere between 60 and 120 foot-pounds, depending on the car. Toyotas are 79 foot-pounds. Hyundais are right around the same. So it's definitely important that you get yourself a nice torque wrench. Again, doesn't have to be snap-on. This is just what I have. I have another snap-on torque wrench here. I use that for building engines, so don't worry about that one too much. But you're definitely going to want to get yourself a 1/2-inch torque wrench for verifying lug nut torque, making sure you're not forgetting any lug nuts when you run them down. Now, as an entry-level technician, you may or may not be doing service work, selling coolant flushes, things like that. This right here is a spill-proof funnel made by Lyle. As you can tell, I've used this thing a lot. It has made me a ton of money. These are great to have. They come with many different adapters to fit all kinds of different radiators. They make filling cooling systems a complete breeze. Now, if you're going to be doing a lot of coolant flushes and things like that, I recommend this airlift here. This guy I've actually featured in one of my other videos is awesome. It makes filling cooling systems a breeze because it basically sucks all the air out of the system and completely eliminates air bubbles in the cooling system. You don't have to burp them. They're super great. So if you're going to be doing a lot of that kind of stuff, definitely invest in one of these. All right, guys, and last but not least, you're definitely going to want to get yourself some nice fender covers, especially if you're in a Highline dealership. Anytime you're doing any kind of work that's going to require you to kind of bend over a customer's car, maybe change their air filters, things like that, these are great to put on the fenders, prevent you from scratching or damaging them. It's going to be, it's going to be good for you because it's going to make you look better as a technician. A customer walks in the shop, they see them on their car, they know you care. And it's going to limit the amount of comebacks you have because you never want comebacks. Comebacks are not good for yourself or for the dealership. So with that being said, if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know down below if you guys want to see more videos like this. I can show you some more tools that you might need if you're, maybe a C or B level technician. You're getting more into the brake and suspension aspect. I have all those tools. I can show you them, what they do. So please, like I said, like, share, subscribe, comment down below. We'll see you on the next one.